Okie, we're going to start in a nice, easy child's pose. So, for the uninitiated, just finding a comfortable seat on your own heels, and then you can keep your knees close together, but most people prefer to widen them. And then just bring that head down on the mat. You want to make that connection head to mat so you can release in your hips. You'll notice if you take your hands off the mat, put them somewhere behind your back, and then you try to lift your head off the mat, you have to put all that tension back into your hips, right? Your lower back, stabilize. And then you can set your head down and kind of relax into those hip sockets, release the tension in your lower back. So just lift that head and then put it down just to draw awareness to that relationship. And do that 2 or 3 times. And once you feel like you've found the child's pose that's actually relaxing, just take some nice big breaths there. You can put your hand out in front. You can stretch it out in front of you if you want to get a little lat stretch here, that's fine. Just don't lose that ease in your hips and lower back, and you can sway a little bit, right? Rock. Take the opportunity to figure out what's going on. Now, if you are in a position right now where you can't get your head down to the mat for whatever reason, you can stack your hands for a little bit of height. You can put something like a block or something for your head. But you want to try to find something to rest your head on so that you can find that release. All right, we're going to slowly come on up into a tabletop position here. And I'll do the profile for people. We want to try and keep our elbows pointed back towards us so that our elbow joint bends inward, right? So you can imagine elbows bending out or elbows bending towards you, and that's what we want to do. Now, that can be a little bit intense in the elbows or wrists if we're not used to being in this position. So just give yourself an opportunity here to wiggle around, keeping those fingers pointed forward, but just practicing rotating those elbows in and around both directions. And hopefully, when you come to your conclusion here, you'll be more or less 12 o'clock with each. Maybe your left one is more like 1 o'clock, that's okay, and your right one's more like 11 o'clock. But if you can get them both to midnight, that's ideal. And we'll just work through a gentle cat-cow series here. On the exhales, oh yeah, that's just stuff. Adjusting your hands and knees as needed. Inhales draw you into the cat. Exhales exhales into the cat. Inhales into the cow. After 10 rounds, you'll have to forgive me if I make some mistakes. Wiggling here a little bit in our hips, right? Now we're going to alternate now between cats and child's pose. It's going to look something like this. On the inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. Exhale, child's pose. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. Exhale, child's pose. One more like that. Inhale, cow. Cat. we're going to move from our child's pose to a bird dog, so that's alternating extension, arm and leg. So right arm first, left leg first, then left arm and right leg. We're just going to go for 3 on the side. On the inhales, we draw ourselves up. Look for that extension. Just trying to get length. And on the exhale, we're just going to bring everything down, down, down. Inhale draws us up. Length. And bring everything down, down, down. 2 more on each side. I prefer to keep my gaze down so as to avoid craning my neck. Alright, let's meet the child's pose for just a couple breaths. You can widen your knees here, makes it a little easier. Just trying to take some nice big breaths into the back of our lungs. Okay, coming up now to a kneeling position. We'll take care of our neck and shoulders here a little bit. So just first trying to find that ribs over hips, right, positions. And trying to avoid too much flaring of the ribs and extension in the lower back, right? Seeing if we can tuck our pelvis underneath our ribs. We're going to begin by just gently looking over to the right. Right arm comes up, pulls the head down, armpit sniffer. Now you might already feel a nice stretch through the left side of your neck. If you don't, you can take your left hand and press your palm down into the mat. And that should give you a nice intense stretching sensation through the neck. And just hold that for a few breaths. Right, notice how flexing that palm really changes everything. You can let go of that hand and suddenly it's not as intense. Bring those fingers back towards your forearm and that palm down, down, down to the mat. It increases the intensity of the stretch in your neck. Now go ahead and reach that left hand over to your right hip. And on the inhale, draw that arm about 45 degrees. And on the exhale, go ahead and put it back. If anything here hurts, necks are delicate things. We're not here to fight through any pain or discomfort, so just readjust until there is no discomfort or stop completely. Maybe 1 or 2 more inhales, steady breathing, never holding your breath. All right, slowly unwind, return to center. Maybe roll your shoulders out once or twice. Okay, readjust your hips underneath your ribs if you have to. If you notice a little bit of rib flare, it's okay. Don't give yourself a hard time about it. Just draw some attention to it. Gentle gaze over to the left. Left arm comes up, pulls that head down to that armpit sniffing position, right? Noticing how, as we put that stretch through our neck, we find ourselves wanting to flare those ribs, right? The principle of your body mechanics, essentially, and there's a lot of principles, and this is incredibly reductionist, but a principle is called tensegrity, and it basically means that your body is a complex system of like pulleys and levers going in different directions and maintaining balance through tension in opposing directions, right? And so as you pull in one place, you tend to move something on some other side of your body too. All right, that's enough blabbing. Calm down, finding that neck stretch for a couple breaths here. If it's different on one side or the other, that's normal. Pressing that palm down. All right, reach that hand across to the left hip. Inhale, draws that arm up at about 45 degrees. Exhale, brings it in. We're going to go for about 3 or 4 like that. Focus more on what you're feeling in your neck and shoulder. Don't worry so much about what it looks to some hypothetical person watching you. One more. And slowly unwind. Go ahead and roll those shoulders out. Backwards. Forwards. Now, nice and easy, because necks are delicate, like I said. We're just going to roll our neck about 3 times in one direction. Looking for range of motion, not speed. And if we feel any kind of sticky places where it feels like we don't particularly like putting our neck there, we're going to gently move through it if we can. And gently move around it if we cannot. Just nice and easy with your neck always. I say that after letting these goons in here pull on my head for a freaking hour. But that's the life we've chosen. All right, let's move things down a little bit into our hips and maybe hamstrings. Just taking care of our lower body here a little bit. Take this nice lunge position, still trying to keep our hips underneath our ribs. This guy's always pulling on my head. Collar ties. Why not? Finding a little movement and balance in this lunge position. Okay. So from a side view, on the inhale, you're going to bring those arms up. Everything good out there? Exhales down. Inhale up. Kind of like you're holding a beach ball in your hands, and you're just placing that beach ball right on top of your foot. You can bring your hands down to the mat, though. You don't have to lock this knee. In fact, I advise against it. You do want to find some nice movement, slow and controlled. Imagine that beach ball in your hands, and now, as you lift that beach ball up, degenerates. Just show that beach ball to your neighbors. Hey, look at my beach ball. It's cooler than yours. Oh, that was your suit there? It's good.
Always ready to fuck, Gary. Constantly ready to fuck.
Apparently.
Let's fuck with a cue every day.
Viewer discretion is advised. Alright. Keep that left foot forward for now. Maybe widen it out just a little bit. Go ahead and put your left hand down. Return to the front view here. We're going to open up a little bit. It's kind of like an active pigeon or modified pigeon. I'm going to maintain some of that movement forward and back, but in a slightly angled position. But don't think too much about holding a static stretch here, and more about just exploring the range of motion in your hips. I like to try and look over that shoulder at my back foot, and then return, maybe get a little ankle stretch on the front by keeping that foot planted, and then returning. Really trying to bring this right hip down into the mat. Little back bending and twisting here, right? Take care. Have a good night. Drive safe. All right, last thing on this side, so-called world's greatest stretch or something like that. We're going to plant our right hand, come up off of our right knee, and just inhale. There we go. Bringing that left arm up. Exhale. Bring that left elbow down towards the mat. Let's go for 5. Okay, sorry, I lied. There's one more thing I want us to do. We're already in the position. We're going to reach back, scoop up this back foot here, and this gives us a nice little stretch of our right quad and hip flexors. Just seeing if you can contract your glutes here. Increase the intensity of that quad stretch as you pull this foot in towards your butt. And again, just breathe, you can move a little bit. All right. Now we will switch sides. Same thing on this side. So just starting by finding our balance, trying to put those hips underneath our ribs. I know for us jiu-jitsu guys, our hips are a mess, okay? It is what it is. Give them love, right? Don't expect perfection, whatever that means. It's about function, it's about feeling good in your own body. Just slowly starting to move into and out of this position, right? It's going to be different, right and left. That's normal. Find your beach ball. Show that beach ball to your friends. Hey, look at my beach ball. right? Something that I'm working on is my hip, is my lower body needs a lot of tension, and as I come down to relieve that tension, my hips start swinging over to the side. So just trying to be mindful about that. Stay with a proper alignment, maintaining balance. All right, widening that stance just a little. Planting that right hand on top of that right ankle. Bringing that left hip down into the mat as we look back, maybe over that right shoulder at our left foot. Finding a little extension maybe for an ankle stretch. Just moving around here a little. It's one of those things that takes a while to feel comfortable doing, like when you first start out a yoga practice or jiu-jitsu or whatever, you kind of just want to be told, like, do this, don't do that, right? Do this thing, don't do that thing. And being told, like, hey man, like, just feel it out, right? Feel what's happening in your body. You're like, I don't know what's happening in my body, so just tell me what to do, you know? And so, I get that, but if you just focus on breathing and finding sort of the edge of your own comfort and flexibility, I think that principle will start to make a lot more sense and your practice will be a lot more beneficial to you. Okay, coming up off that knee, inhales, bring that right arm up. Exhales, bring that right elbow down towards the mat. Let's go for 5. And bring that knee down. Reaching up and back for that left foot. Trying to contract that left glute muscle as you pull this foot in towards your butt. Give yourself a nice quad hip flexor stretch here. Maybe a little back twist. We'll be out of here pretty soon, so don't you worry. I will upgrade my microphone setup for next time. I know it's a little hard to hear just off the camera mic. Alright, hopefully it hips feel pretty good. So we're going to take our back down to the mat. We'll do a nice little back twist. Take a few breaths in our final resting pose, and then we'll be out of here. So coming onto our side, trying to stack our knees about 90 degrees, right? Hips, doesn't have to be perfect. Stacking our hands, trying to rest your head on the mat, so don't pull tension in your neck, just rest that head on the mat. And on the inhales, we're gonna open, 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 oh boy. And on the exhale, we're going to close. We're going to go for 10 like that. I have a little bit of a beat up right shoulder right now, so as I roll over it, it's telling me like, hey man, what the hell dude? Why did you even come to class today? I was like, because I'm addicted and I have to, or I can't function in society like a normal person. And then my shoulder said, okay, fair enough. Get to breathe, big breaths as we open. And exhale as we close. Trying to keep our knees down, right? It's normal for those knees to want to slide hard, so just using a little bit of strength in your thighs. Keep everything down. One more. All right, go ahead and bring your knees up towards the center. You can take a couple little knees to chests here, just reset in a symmetrical movement. And we'll bring everything over to the left. Same thing with that head lie. And inhale, let's just bring everything up and over. Nice and easy. Exhale. Feels pretty good. I think we'll take one last little stretch, piriformis stretch here for a few breaths. Since we're already here. Try to keep your back flat to the mat. So try not to round our backs. Just keep everything nice and flat. Knee should be in line with the foot or even a little bit closer to us than our foot. And then we can slowly just start pulling both the knee and the foot towards us as our lower back stays flat to the mat. So try not to pull your ankle towards you as your knee flares out, right? But rather pulling basically your shin in a line. Just a few more breaths. Noticing if one side is easier than the other. Again, keeping your knee a little closer to you than your foot, and then pulling them both towards you together as your back stays flat to the mat. So if you're lifting your kicks just to bring everything closer, you're kind of cheating yourself out of a little bit of the stretch. Trying to keep everything nice and flat. Right, you can think about working towards like an elbow grip here. But we don't have to get crazy with it right now. We're just trying to get a little release post-class. A couple more big breaths. Just finding that stretch. Come on down. Whoa. All right, go ahead and lie flat on your back here for just a minute. As we finish, we round everything off. Finding some comfort. Finding some stillness. Big breath, inhale. out of that shoulder. Exhale. I like to imagine the inhales are just lifting me ever so slightly off the mat. And the exhales, I'm sinking into the mat. The mat is now some sort of soft putty or mud or something. On the inhale, I'm being lifted on up out of it. And on the exhale, I'm sinking back into it. To give yourself opportunities to bring your energy back down. We get ourselves all hopped up in here, and that's the whole point, and it's great, and it's good for you. But what goes up must come down. You can't stay in that heightened state all the time, you know. Hypervigilance, they call it sometimes. It's a normal response to stress. It's a normal response to having grown up a certain way, trust me, but it's like putting extra miles on the car, you know? So you gotta take that car into the shop and give it a little love too. All right, gently come on up and out. There we go. Feels pretty good. Thanks for training with me today. Thanks for sticking around for yoga. If you're watching at home, thanks for watching. Like I said, we'll upgrade the microphone situation going forward so that the audio is a little crisper on your end. In the meantime, stay safe, stay alive, namaste.